What up, y'all? It is week 20. Yeah, week 20. We in the actual 20 digits. So we ended up last week with finishing up the install of the Wi-Fi web boost. That's what we're using, web boost. So we finished up the install of the Wi-Fi last week. You saw me starting to put the countertops together. So now I'm going to take those, we glued them all together, we did those plate joins. Now they're just a little bit uneven, so I'm just gonna sand them down, kind of get those ready so that we can stain them. I know we're getting some cloth this week so we can finish building or putting together all of the cushions for that one thing. I'm gonna be making the table today. That one's gonna be pretty fun just because it's gonna be kind of a different design that I've personally never seen anybody do before, so we're gonna see how it works out, if it works out, all that stuff, and I'll explain that a whole lot later. But anyway, that's what we're doing currently. All right, bye y'all. All right, y'all, so it's the end of Monday right now. What I have been working on today, haven't really showed you guys a lot. You guys saw me sand that countertop earlier. So I have been progressing along with that. I didn't really show a lot of it because it was just a lot of measuring. But I am currently cutting out, I'm gonna cut out so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut out the countertop so that the sink that we got sitting here, is going to be recessed down in this countertop. So this is going to be the bottom, but you can kind of see where I've drawn the lines that I'm going to cut out. So I am going to take the scroll saw, cut this out. That way then when we're not using it, we can set that piece back in there. Yeah, wish me luck. Guys, we are back at it again today. Yesterday I didn't really show you how I finished up one of the countertops, but this is what it's looking like now. So I haven't actually attached anything here, see, so it's all loose. But yeah, so we're going to recess the sink down inside. So as you can, ooh, let's not do that. We're going to recess the sink down inside, so underneath the cabinets. So yeah, that's just gonna sit right there. That's what you saw me cutting out yesterday. Now I've cleaned up all the edges. I'm going to show you how I did that with the other countertop. And then, yeah, so I cut that out. And then the other beautiful part about this whole entire thing is that goes right in there. So then we're still going to have a full counter on this side. And then we're just going to turn this into our cutting board. So then it saves space, utilizes that as like a second kind of thing. And then that way then it, you know, covers up that gross looking sink. And then if there is any smell coming out of it from like the jerry can or anything like that, then it's kind of contained in one little area, which is nice, right? Yeah. All right. I got you, you got me. We are too lucky. I got you, you got me. We are too lucky. Alright, y'all, so that's pretty well what I did with that other one, except that I, obviously did the middle section where that sink was gonna go. But yeah, so that's really all that was. It was just cleaning up these edges, where it was rough cut. Like I can show you, see how sharp that one is? It's just like basically, it's really sharp. So yeah, if you come out here, then they're kind of rounded out a little bit. These I'm gonna leave this way because this is where the oven, or not the oven, the stovetop's gonna go. But yeah, so these are both done. I just need to stain them now. Sierra, I think, might do that. But yeah, stain them, seal them, and then we'll be installing them probably about Thursday or something like that. So a couple days. But yeah. Alright, y'all, so countertops, they're done, they just need stained, right? Next thing that I'm working on is our tables. So our tables are gonna be part of our slide outs that then make our bed, so that they kind of serve as a dual purpose. The way that we're making those is going to be a little bit of an unconventional way of doing it. It's kind of a brainchild that I'm hoping will work, right? So what we're gonna do is, let me flip around. This is gonna be our base, right? So it's gonna be a 2-inch piece of wood. It's going to get recessed down into the floor. So then I don't have to buy one of those like metal bubble things that stick out obnoxiously all the time. So this is gonna be level with the floor. And then we're going to cut a square peg into it. So it's gonna be like those old childhood games, you know, trying to put the square peg in round holes. And that's going to sit down inside of there, right? So this obviously is going to be a lot taller. It's going to be about 37 inches tall, something like that. And then this is a mock version of what we're going to do with our tables. So the tables are going to have a hole cut in it, just like this one's going to have a cut, like this one right here is going to have a hole cut in it. That way then this sits down inside of there. Our table then sits down on top of that. Obviously this is going to stick out as much. I got to trim some stuff up and do some other things. So it's basically going to be that in some bigger regard. But that's what I'm going to try and get going today. We've done a couple mock runs of it. It hasn't really worked out so far. I think I have a new idea where we can add some like little supports on the side of this, the middle post, and that way then we can put some screws up into it that are just some like finger screws. That way then it'll support the post that goes into the base and then also the table that goes on top of the post so it doesn't wiggle around as much. Yeah, working on that right now. Alrighty, y'all, it is Friday of this week. I've been doing quite a bit of stuff behind the scenes here. A lot of it's just been this little meticulous stuff, getting ready to put these countertops that you guys saw me making earlier in. So basically we stained them all, we finished them with the polyurethane so that they would not absorb water. And then I also did some stuff with the tables that are going to be the things that also make our bed. So I'm just gonna walk you guys through all that real quick. So basically with the table stuff, so this is our table. This is also a thing that's going to pull out in between the benches and sit there, and that's what's gonna make our bed. I had to drill these pilot holes, put these little inserts in, and then these right here are gonna be where these go. And that's basically going to sit on top of this. So I think I showed you guys part of me making this. This is going to be our post that recesses into the ground. So it attaches down here at the bottom. You can see where those screws are. It's also going to, these are going to be those pilot holes, and then the screws are going to come straight up through these holes. That way then it holds it in place and it doesn't shimmy back and forth. So those are pretty well done. I have to install the base of this. I'm gonna do that later on today. The other thing that I'm doing today is our sink. So you see this nice, beautiful cutout hole that I made, which is absolutely horrible. But luckily it's all gonna be covered up because we are recessing the sink underneath the counters. And then I had to cut the hole here for the faucet and all of the hoses to go through. So I'm going to start installing all of these cabinets today. Get all those in. There's a couple little tweaks that I have to do for those pullouts for the bed, just so that they fit in there good. And then I'm gonna be installing that base for the table today also. So that I will be showing you guys, so hang on for that. It is Sunday. I cannot remember what week it is at all. Maybe it's 19, maybe it's 20. Doesn't really matter anymore. But it is Sunday, so it is the end of this week, so we're about at the end of the video. We are getting some other stuff together. You guys saw me put in the cabinet, or not the cabinets, but the countertops. You saw me install the mount for the table and finish up all that table stuff. So the only things that we really have left to do is going to be the water system, the flooring on the front, which we're just going to take a piece of carpet and lay it down over some Reflectix to kind of make that look a little bit prettier, and then the rest of the electrical system. So I'm having to redo a little bit of stuff on the electrical system, but all that's going to be next week, so I'm not even going to go into that. But right now, as you can see, we're freezing. That's Sierra back there with a heater. Look at her. This is back there warming up her little tootsies.
It's so cold.
But yeah, so it's freezing. So, but big news coming up next week, like actual, like real big news. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna just record some of that water system going in. So, bye y'all. Oh yeah, also water system, right? So I've done some preliminary work so that you guys don't have to see me struggling. So what I've done so far is I cut this hole right here. That is where our water fill is gonna go, so I'm gonna have to attach that. I have some other holes, you can kind of see them back here. This big nice teardroppy one. That's gonna go underneath where we have our water tank. So we're putting a big old 20-inch water, or 20-gallon water tank. I'm basically gonna recess it right up here in this nice big gap that we got underneath the frame. And then that's just gonna get piped straight up through. I struggle to get back inside the thing. into right here. It's gonna come through back into the cabinet that I made. Here's our water pump. Haven't installed that yet. So I'm gonna have the water system all in here. We're gonna have a jerry can, and then I've drilled another hole in the floor right here where there's just gonna be a pipe that's going out so that when we're in like the wilderness and stuff where we can just let our gray water kind of go out on the ground. That's what we're gonna do there. So yeah, stay tuned. Hi y'all, that was a week.
Happy week 20.
Right. So yeah, so we got, most of the, I think that's like the rest of the wood. So all of the carpentry aspect of this is done.
Yeah, so we have 1 week left.
Yeah, we really do believe it's one more week. So I think all we have left is electrical. I had to order a little bit of stuff for that because we had to rewire some of the solar panels, which is perfectly fine. And then I'm going to finish up with that water. You guys saw me put the tank in, so I'm just going to finish up the water, get all that done, and then I think we are almost done with our cushions too.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to be able to see all of that this next week, and then we're almost on the road.
Woo woo! Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Sierra. This is Steve. Thank you guys so much. As always, hit the like button and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Yeah. Bye, y'all.